It is now time for Shaka's Power Rankings.
Oh, no.
Last week was pretty straightforward. No big arguments. This week, I feel, could be rather different because he's going to put Barcelona in, isn't he?
They're in at 10.
They lost to Leganés, Shaq.
And tied against Girona. They were number 1 last week. There's enough of a punishment.
Poor start.
And a lot of people had a lot of problems all week long.
Tied Girona, lost to Leganés.
They're at 10.
No bravery.
Dortmund drew at Hoffenheim and then 7-0 win.
So
they
what was
followed
the
up.
first thing you
So
said?
they're in at 9.
What was the first thing you said? Drew against Hoffenheim.
That's what I said.
And that's an argument for?
And they played
Good week for them.
Yeah, Atletic's got to be higher, surely.
No, they're in. What's wrong with that?
Wow.
Lyon, who got in after beating City. Good week for them as well with 2 wins.
700 points off PSG at the top.
Beat City, 2 wins.
Beat
Chelsea.
Hey, that was 2 weeks ago.
Draw with West Ham.
Chelsea drew with West Ham.
That's no easy feat.
I thought it was this week's Power Rankings.
That's no easy feat. They're in at 6.
Chelsea just...
Wait a minute.
There you go.
Wait a minute.
Didn't just Chelsea beat Liverpool?
Yeah, that's in the cup.
Oh, it doesn't
Nothing.
count. That doesn't count.
Good week for them. Couple of wins. They're in at 5.
Right.
In at number 4. Bayern
They
Munich.
drew.
But they drew last week.
But they won the weekend during the week.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're in. One weekend during the week, so they're in at 4. Number 3. PSG, after 2 wins for them, very good week.
So why are PSG below Liverpool, who lost?
They lost to Chelsea in the Cup. Carabao Cup, don't count. Too many changes,
What do you mean
they're in.
it doesn't count?
So,
Juventus, 2 wins out of 2. They leapfrog Liverpool.
Wow.
They're in at 1.
Wow.
Bob's your uncle.
where's Manchester City?
Yeah, where's Manchester City?
They haven't been in for 2 weeks. Since they lost to Lyon, they've been out.
What are you talking? They've only lost 1 game and drawn 1 and lost 1
They beat
game.
Cardiff 7,000-0.
Cardiff.
Come on, man.
We can beat Cardiff.
Wow. Next up for Juventus, of course, it's Napoli, where Ronaldo will feature heavily. And what an impression he's made since that move to Turin. We sent Mina there to get all the latest.
When you're in Turin, you think of cheese, you think of art, you think of culture, you think of a doppio espresso, but you also think of football. And this is the home of Juventus, and now the home of Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo. I feel great.
It's official then, Cristiano Ronaldo is a Juventus player.
Ronaldo mania has hit Turin. We have pizzas and we have gelato dedicated to the number 7. And here in Tommy Tegamino, they're serving the CR7 special.
The news spread all over the city, so we have a lot of customers and it has been great for business. So we are very happy. It's made with stracchino cheese and olives, black olives, to remind the number of Ronaldo.
And now we're here, where it really matters, the Allianz Stadium, and Ronaldo is about to take to the pitch. But before he does, let's find out what the fans think.
Ronaldo is the best.
Good Cristiano Ronaldo.
It's beautiful to see Ronaldo at the Juventus Stadium. It's wonderful.
Ronaldo.
Only dream is the dream of our life, for sure.
Cristiano Ronaldo I like, but Messi for me is better.
Quite unbelievable, I think, because he's the best player in the world, and if we think about the last year, how Ronaldo done against us, see him at the stadium with our shirt is a very beautiful thing.
It's the best. For me, it's the best. In this moment, it's the best.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best in the world.
Having him now within the team in our roster is, of course, boosting the shirt sales to a level that since yesterday was pretty unthinkable. In 3 months, we sold out the black and white shirt that was forecasted to be sold out in a full season.
We're in a better position, I think, when you look at the transfer window and you always think, oh, who are we going to sign? Are we going to be better the next year than we were last year? And you see that your club has signed Cristiano Ronaldo. It sort of gives you a very good feeling, and you know that you have to do better next year than you did last. And last year we won everything there was to be won in Italy, so the only step forward is to win the Champions League, and I think we have the to do that.
So we came to Turin, we spoke to the people who mattered, and it's clear Ronaldo mania has not only arrived, it's here to stay.
And of course, it'll be taken up a notch this weekend as Juventus take on Napoli. First versus second. Can Napoli break Juve's perfect start to the season? The bookies doubt it. Napoli coming in at 4-1. Juve odds on to take all 3 points in Turin. Every time it felt Sevilla went forward, they scored. Real Madrid were dreadful.
Yeah, they really were. And as you say, it's curious for I think for two reasons. Obviously, one of them is the one that you say, that you're in the dressing room before the game and you suddenly find yourself in a position where you're given an opportunity that you didn't anticipate. Then you would expect them to go and take that. The other side of this is that this is Sevilla you're playing. OK, so, you know, obviously Real Madrid can go into some games cold. They can go into some games perhaps not expecting the kind of onslaught that they got at the Sánchez Pizjuán. But it's Sevilla. And as I've said, this is now 4 league games in a row that they've lost at the Sánchez Pizjuán. They knew what to expect. Now, that's not to say it's easy to counteract, but it is to say that there should have been some awareness, there should have been some competitive tension. The first Sevilla chance comes after 18 seconds. By the time Sevilla score, which is only 17 minutes into the game, it's their 4th good chance of the match. And Sevilla just completely overwhelmed Real Madrid, just bombing past them all the way through. In particular, and it's not fair to isolate a single player, but it felt like part of the tactics was to do that. In particular, they tore Marcelo to bits.
Yeah, Marcelo on that far side was exposed so many times, Shaq. How do you explain this? Like, from a player's perspective, how can you drop the ball so badly?
Yeah, I'm not sure how you explain this, but it's concerning. When you see Barcelona do what they do, and I always feel that when you play after, it's more a psychological battle. And that's the challenge for Real Madrid team and players who are trying to prove their worth and that there's life after Cristiano Ronaldo. Now Barcelona opened the door for you to at least leapfrog them in terms of the league table. And yes, as much as Sevilla may be a bogey team, you expect more. You expect this team to show a certain level of toughness that just similarly went flying out that very door that Barcelona left open. I'm not sure how you explain it, and it's on these players to prove that they are made of tougher stuff than what we saw.
I would turn that around and say, okay, you know that Sevilla is uncomfortable for you away from home. And so therefore, even more to the point, you have to defend better when you come out in the first half. It can't be that 30 minutes in, Sevilla has had 4 and 5 breakaway opportunities. So where is the focus? Where is the preparation? Where is the mindset of saying...
leaders?
Yeah, where is the leadership? And where is the mindset of saying, okay, look, we haven't historically played well here over the last 4 seasons or what have you, and now we have an opportunity to jump ahead Barcelona. Hey, let's make sure we get this part of the game first. We sort that out, and then we allow our talented players to take over. Then we frustrate Sevilla, and then we let the talent to take over in the final third. But you didn't see any of that from Real Madrid.
Of course, Barca, Real Madrid still top of the table, level on points, 2 ahead of Atletico Madrid. Who was last night worse for?
Well, I mean, I suppose it was worse for Barcelona than the fact that it was much more unexpected. Bear in mind that while it's true that Real Madrid losing is always news, the fact that they lose in Sevilla is not a huge piece of news. This is the 4th season in a row that they've been beaten at the Sánchez Pizjuán. It's the 6th time in the last 7 visits in La Liga. And on the morning of the game, to give you an example, one of the headlines of one of the 2 big Madrid sports dailies was that this was a game of high risk. The game at Leganés shouldn't have been a game of high risk. It shouldn't have been a game of any risk at all. So from that point of view, you would say it was worse for Barcelona. And yet, despite the fact that Barcelona played really, really poorly, certainly in the second half of their game, Real Madrid were even worse.
See, the interesting thing I thought from that Barcelona game was when Leganés got those 2 quick goals, you expected some sort of retaliation from Barca, but there didn't seem to be any reaction really at all.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that is the most striking thing. You know, it's relatively normal for a team to get 1-0 up and let the game drift, but then you expect some sort of response when you suddenly find yourself 2-0 down. Barcelona, of course, conceded 2 goals in 68 seconds, which, bearing in mind that your average team celebrates for, what, 45 seconds? Perhaps the ball in play between the 2 goals is no more than kind of 15, 20 seconds. They get caught out. But at that stage, you know, it's minute 53, I think. So they've got well over half an hour to try and find a way back into this game. They're up against a side side who were bottom of the table, who of course hadn't won all season, and they are then in a position where, all right, they've started with a slightly weakened team, but Jordi Alba comes on, Luis Suarez comes on, they bring on Malcolm to replace Dembele, and they basically didn't find a way through at all. They created one chance, which turned out to be two because it was a brilliant save, and then the follow-up provoked a second brilliant save. Apart from that, Barcelona created nothing. And I think you're right in saying that it wasn't just that they didn't play well, it's that there wasn't a response. There wasn't even any kind of sense of rebellion. There didn't even seem to be any sense of anger or disappointment at the fact that they were 2-1 down. The game just drifted away from them.
It was weird, wasn't it, Ali? Because we thought, right, oh, don't worry. You know, good for Leganés, they took the lead, but, you know, inevitably Barcelona score and go on and win it. But they didn't, and didn't even, as Sid said, look like it.
It was lifeless from Barcelona. And really, at some point, you thought, do they even care? Are they out there just kind of knocking the ball around and it's just, well, now we're frustrated and now we're not even bothered? And that's not the image that you want to get from Barcelona, certainly. A team that has so much talent out on the field, and let's not forget who they were playing against. It's Leganés.
Yep.
It's Leganés. It's Leganés. And so at that point, you expect that response would come, and that's the concerning part. Barcelona is going to give up goals because of the way that they play and because of the way that they defend. But that there wasn't any sort of response. There was no challenge by Barcelona and no impact from the difference makers in the final third. And that's Messi, and that's Coutinho, and Luis Suarez, and everybody else. Nothing from those three. That's the part that you got to take a look at and not be satisfied.
Hello, welcome to Extra Time. Look at this, everyone is here today. Hey. Matteo Bonetti, of course, the Italian person. He's here.
Italian person.
That's the one.
Saga.
Which?
Yeah.
Which one?
You're Italian, aren't you?
I'm all right. I'm Italian-American.
Italian-American. There we go.
The Italian-American person.
There you are.
Italian-American person.
Matteo Bonetti.
That's the one, Matteo Bonetti.
There you
Show
go.
the accent in.
I've got to pick my fantasy team. Hurry up.
What does Gab think? Are you Italian or not?
Of course I'm Italian. I was born in Milan. Is Gab Italian? I want to throw that question to him. This is the real I'm throwing down with Gab.
Gab was born in Milan as well, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah, he was brought up in Milan.
Oh, about that. I want to see the...
Sounds like Matteo is questioning Gab's claim.
I'm absolutely doing that. Absolutely. Controversy.
Were you, Gab?
I have nothing against him.
Sounds like it.
He's trying to say he's more Italian than me.
No.
We're going to have an Italian off.
I didn't do anything. I just asked the question.
But for sure, Gab thinks he's more Italian than you. 100%. See the way Gab dresses.
Is it your Twitter handle is the Italian guy? That's how you introduce yourself.
It means the Italian soccer guy, yes.
What do you mean?
Just calcio means soccer in Italian, the calcio guy. So that's the way I kind of throw in the little Italian bit. But just look at the way Gab dresses. All right, that's just the only thing I'm going to throw out there. Compare the suit. Good. Sorry, Gab. Sorry. Forgive me.
I've got Matteo on the line for you.
Sorry, Gab. Sorry.
No, don't apologize now.
Too late.
Don't apologize now.
Right, time for Shaka to apologise.
What have I done?
With David De Gea being inducted into the World 11, I believe it is time that Shaka apologises for the comments he made about De Gea back in 2012.
My wife? My wife asked me to apologize for things that are 10 years old. What did I say about De Gea in 2012?
Well, if you don't know.
You said it was rubbish.
That's 6 years ago.
You must have said it was hopeless.
People are hanging on to 6 years ago.
When did he move from Atleti to United?
I don't know.
Was that then?
I can't remember when I moved from that side of the desk.
Sid, when did he make that switch? You know everything.
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably about the right time. I honestly don't know. I don't see that. I don't feel any need to get involved now. I think we should go back to Gab. I think this is shaping up to be the best extra time of all time. If we can just keep focused on what this is really all about, and we can get on with the bench. However,
right, we need to. Right, we can't. He's not here to defend himself, and if he was, he'd be telling us a long story.
Yes. Boring. Long story.
What did you think of Pastore's backheel finish? The Calcio guy.
Oh, it's the one thing he's been doing well. Because in open play, we haven't seen the Pastore of old, the one that used to be in Serie A, but he has scored 2 lovely backheel finishes, mirror images of each other. And if Roma didn't get the win,
he's doing all this
Pastore saving the job of the manager, I think, at the end with a brilliant finish. So I thought very highly of it.
I felt in a very Gab way there were a lot of backhanded compliments there. It's a lovely finish, but it's the only thing he's been doing.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Sid, should Barca risk £200 on Pogba after seeing his latest public stunts with Manchester United?
£200?
Will they get the World Cup or Mourinho
I tell you
version?
what, 200... No, 200 quid they should go for him.
Do it.
Absolutely for sure. 200 million. 200 million is maybe a different question. I mean, first of all, do we think he's going to cost as much as 200 million? And part of the risk, I suppose, is environments. I mean, you go to Barcelona, maybe the environment's not the same. Also, the problem is that intrinsically this question assumes that there's a huge amount of sense about all of the decisions being made at Barcelona. I'm not entirely sure that's true.
There's a lot of big words in that answer.
Wow.
He's
got his PhD doctorate.
Intrinsically, you know.
I know. He's just...
What? I don't know what just happened.
Gab
Italian?
Aren't you always on the list?
Is Gab Italian?
Top 10 most intelligent.
We don't know. We don't know.
Is Gab intrinsically Italian?
Not according to Matteo Mourinho.
No. Hey, Paul.
Oh, dear.
If Iron Maiden do another tour, who would you take with you out of the group? Shaka Hislop will only go if you tell him you're going to see Jay-Z.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Did you take my wife to see?
Yeah, I most certainly did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
you took my wife, didn't you?
I'll tell you what, I'll take your wife again then.
There we go, beautiful.
Wow.
Well, let's go. Next question. Next question. Next question, please.
No,
This show has gotten very strange.
Danny didn't come.
This has got a bit
Danny
awkward.
stayed
I did stay home.
Hey, Matteo, nice to see you here.
It's a bit awkward, yeah. Let's change the subject.
So Gab is next down. All right.
Well, okay.
Oh, dear. Finally, does Shaka sound like Sebastian the Crab from Disney's The Little Mermaid?
Yeah. I think so.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I have.
Under the sea.
I think, yeah, I think the actor whose voice that is Jamaican.
Right.
Give us your impersonation, Shaq. Go on, knock it out.
No.
How different is the Trini accent to the Jamaican accent? Is it...
To somebody from the Caribbean, very.
Right.
To somebody who's not, very similar.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So to the rest of us.
To everybody else. Yeah. To you lot.
Okay. Someone's just told me that Gab was born in Milan.
Ooh. So has Gab
You wouldn't know, by the way, dresses, but that's
so
the
Gab
thing I'm
called in.
Yeah, Gab called in.
Just to make sure. That's one.
Would you let us order off the menu if we went to Italy?
Absolutely, as you should. The best things are on the menu.
No.
Controversial.
I've never heard of that.
Right. Oh, no one. Get Gab on the phone right now.
No one who has ever eaten with Gab is ever allowed to order. Are they? Well, that was part of the rules.
Gab burns the menu in front of you. Don't do it.
Wow.
Sorry, Gab. Sorry.
No, don't apologize now.
All kinds of clashes going on between you and Gab here.
Wait till we start on Paolo. ESPN FC is back on your screens tomorrow, and of course we'll be looking ahead to Juventus against Napoli with Gab Marcotti.
Oh!
He's too good. He's too good.
Proper game.
He's
proper
better
guest.
than Matteo.
I'm coming in just for that.
Better than Matteo.